I'd like to introduce you all to our speaker today, Steve Stencil. Steve is the creator of Leap and has been actively developing the Leap application for over 10 years. Steve comes from a sales background in the home improvement industry, and he started in windows and roofing. He was a sales rep there for several years and started to notice there's lots of room for improvement in the process that he was working with at the time. So he taught himself how to code and learned to build a system that was scalable to help him sell more in his role there. So there's a whole lot more to that story. We've actually got a podcast with Steve on our website. I'll put the link into the chat here in a bit. Encourage you to check all that out. It's really an awesome story of how Leap was developed. So with that, Steve, I'll go ahead and turn this over to you.
All right, great. So make me presenter, and hopefully I'll be able to share without a hitch.
Okay. You should have control now.
Okay. So I'm going to share over here, show my screen. You should be able to see the same slide, right?
Yep, absolutely. You're good.
Window. So first thing, I'm just going to go through the 10 bullet points, like a little couple slides of things that I want to show you. When, marketing team, we were discussing like ideas and things to do for the webinar. One of the things that I always find myself, like when I'm talking with customers of ours, just like the little hidden things, I'm like, man, it would be nice just to be able to have a webinar to tell them, hey, these are just like little things that you should be doing or can be doing that you might not know or haven't discovered inside the Leap platform. So I sat down and came up with just 10 off the top of my head, and if you guys like these, we'll do more of them because there's so many things that you can do inside of our platform. So first one, I've broken down in a couple different categories. I want to talk to you about estimates. Some of you may or may not be using some of these things. What I'd like to do is I'm going to just, again, highlight the bullet points, and then it's going to be kind of shooting from the hip. I'm just going to jump a little bit between the iPad, my iPad screen I have set up next to me. I'll share a little bit of our dashboard because sometimes it's, I'll have to use it, but I'll show you how they work to an extent. So first thing I want to talk about is drawing and editing on photos and how that can definitely benefit. Specifically in this little screenshot that you see here, I used to use this to draw on like when I was selling gutters, a roof with gutters, I would draw on the house where the gutters are going to be replaced. When I was selling windows, I would circle on the house which windows are actually being replaced, and sometimes even take pictures of the windows. If there's rotted wood rot, I would point to it. Maybe if we were or were not replacing it, I would draw on the photo and explain, hey, we are or are not replacing this wood. Our GroupMe integration was one of our favorite things, at least one of my favorite things on sales rep, the other sales reps I worked with as well. And I remember back in the day when we were doing some upgrades, we had to disable the GroupMe integration for a couple days. And the people who were using this, they're like, hey, sales reps are about to set a fire on the build if we don't get this GroupMe integration set up. So I'll show you guys how you can use that and how that can be beneficial. I'll show you a way that you can tag photos in the app. So basically what that's going to mean is you'll be able to add photos to your estimate and tag them in a way that it all auto-populates and syncs back to your contracts and proposal documents. With say, like if it's windows, it'd be like the room location. I want to talk a little bit about things you can do in resources. Your resources section where you can house all of your pitch materials. We're going to talk about how you can use websites as links and resources, or website links as resources, which can just open up a whole ton of possibilities of things that you can do. I'm going to talk to you about using aerial measurements in your presentations. This comes specifically for exterior remodeling, using tools like EagleView, Hover, and RoofScope or Scope Technologies. I want to talk to you a little bit about our documents. Probably the most used thing in Leap is our document engine. I'm going to explain how you can add external PDFs as a template. So this means something that doesn't exist in the Leap ecosystem. Maybe you want a different brochure or an Xactimate if you're doing roofing, or you just want a PDF that was maybe emailed to you to be part of your documents that you send off to the homeowner. I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to auto-populate values from packages to your templates. This is a newer thing that we launched about a month or two ago. I don't think people have time to really change if you're already using it or learn that this is even available. But basically, as you set up your packages on the price guide side, you can have all of that information auto-populate to your documents. I'll talk to you about some of the CRMs that we're integrated with. It allows you to pull values directly from the CRM and have them auto-populate to your contracts. Specifically, if you use like Salesforce or Improve It 360, you can have like a customer ID number or some kind of other value that exists in the CRM pipe all the way down from the CRM directly to your document, so that any document your reps create, you can have these numbers auto-populate on your templates. And then lastly, I just want to talk about some miscellaneous things. So one, accessing customer documents from your completed uploads. This way, every document that's sent through the iPad, reps can access them from Leap, and how you can change discounts per sales rep. So this was a feature when I did in-home sales. We had this one guy who was a very good closer, but he never made any money on deals because he would always sell things what we called out of guidelines, below the minimum cost that the company was willing to to sell the deals. So then they would come off the sales board and he wouldn't get any credit for it. So what we did is added a way, there is a way in Leap that you can adjust how much a user can discount the job individually. So, this user can discount it 20%, but this one can only discount it 15%, right? So with that, I'm going to stop sharing this screen. Let me see how to do that right here. And I'm going to jump into sharing. First, I'm going to share, let's see, what we're going to talk about first. Drawing on the photos. So now I'm going to share my iPad. Okay. So I have an estimate already preloaded in here. I have some line items for roofing for windows. And let's go in and let's say that we want to add a photo for roofing. So I come in, I have my line items already added. I click into my shingles and I want to add a photo. So I click on my photo section and I'll come in here and let's just use this photo. Let's see what we got here. Here, we'll just use this one. And then if you tap on the photo, so it might be hard to see my touches here, but there's that little photo icon right there in the middle in the left-hand middle side. If I click on that photo, then it pops up that photo with kind of a little sketch pad. Now I can change my color here. So let's do this green. And I can click on, to draw maybe some straight lines or change my brush size. And then I can put here, draw on it, maybe point some arrows. Text, you can click the little text button and you can say replace all missing siding. Then you can reposition this. Or maybe you want to add measurements on it. So I could click on this and do straight lines. And I could say, let's do from here all the way over to here. And then I can do some text and say, I don't know, 20 feet. And you can also change the size of your fonts. Like you can move them big, small. You just twist, pinch and zoom and move your fonts all around. So we'll just put that over there 20 feet. You can just hit done. And this becomes very powerful when, even if your reps didn't sell it, right? So you can train your reps to do this as part of the estimate. So when it comes time to generate a contract, all of that information can just carry over. It'll just automatically carry over to your documents. But in the event that they did not sell the deal, you have all of that information that you can then use to rehash. We actually have companies who are capitalizing on this, and they've set up entire departments like a call center where they have X number of reps that are sitting there and looking at all the results that Leap automatically pushes into their CRM. And they will see pictures and notes and stuff that the rep had taken on the pictures, and they're using those pictures to create urgency. And especially in today's environment where people are more willing to buy remote without somebody coming out to their house, they are selling deals over the phone. Again, we have, especially since COVID, we have companies who have set up entire departments now just dedicated to doing remote sales. So your reps are out there, they have all the information. If they're just going to take some pictures, have them do it in Leap, and you can draw on those pictures and have that information help the sales rep when generating proposals or contracts, and also help your rehash team for the deals that you did not sell. So I'm going to pivot for a second. I want to talk about our GroupMe integration. So GroupMe, I think, is one of the most underutilized, lowest hanging fruit. Let's see, changes. Yeah, we'll click yes. Let me stop this one. And what I want to do now is share my desktop. Not desktop, my Safari browser right here. Okay. So the GroupMe, for those of you who don't know, is a group chat app, and it allows you to, just a big group message type thing. And what we did is created a group for all of the sales reps. And when you hook up the Leap GroupMe integration, you can connect it to, so you authenticate just like you would in the app, and then you connect it to your chat group. So what will happen is this will log in. Once you log in, it will find all of your groups that you have created. You find the one that you want to connect Leap to, and then you can tell it to post messages for sales and or post messages for no sales. So anytime a sales rep results a lead, you can have the app post a message. Most people use it for just sales because a no sale is not good, right? But it's available. So then what you can do is create as many random messages, and there's little placeholders that you can do. So Leap will randomly pick one of these messages every time the rep results their lead as a sale in this example, and it will just pick one of these, and then it will inject the sales rep's name and how much they sold for based on what they resulted the lead for. So you see here we put some funny ones in, the rep sold, it says old, it should say sold, for a measly however much. Finally, John sold something however much, John out there making donuts, 10 grand. Stop the presses, John sold for 10 grand. It's a Christmas miracle, blah, blah, you get the point. So you can create as many of these you want. We even had companies, one of the cool ideas I thought was they ran a bonus 1 month where they went in here and they had say 15 or 20 of these random messages, but one of the messages was worth $50 bonus. So it was just a cool little thing. And he swore to me that the thing picked it every time. Obviously it didn't, but he said it got hit more times. The average was higher on that one than the other ones. I thought it was funny, but it created a little bit of gamification. It's recognition. Everybody likes the little likes, the group me, you can like the message and stuff like that. And also gives your sales reps an incentive to result their leads, because a lot of companies I talk to, getting the reps to disposition their appointments, they forget, it's not a high priority to them. But if it's getting posted into the group chat, especially for a sale, they want all their peers to know that they sold, and they know when they result their lead, it not only pushes all the information back to the CRM, but it's also going to automatically post a message into the group chat. If you're using Leap, you can turn this thing on right now. Go in there, make a couple random messages, and it will just start working. Reps don't have to do anything else. It's super low-hanging fruit, high reward item. All right, let me stop there. Told you I was going to do a bunch of jumping back and forth. I'm going to jump back to the iPad. So these are in no particular order, these features. So let's go back here. Back on the iPad. And now I want to talk about my third bullet point, which was tagging of the photos. So if I hit done, so we're going to leave that one like it was. So that was drawing on the photos, but tagging on them is just important. So this time I'm going to use Windows. So if I click on my Windows section, I'm going to add a line item into my Windows here. And I'm going to click down on the little cell. You see it's highlighted red. And that's because I have fields that are required for my reps. Now I change my tag name to room location. So if you use Leap, you'll notice when you come to this screen, you'll always have 2 fields every time. They're mandatory default fields. And that is the quantity of the item in the tag. Now you can customize what the tag is. In this case, I put the room location and put a little description there like the living room. But the reason that the tag is important is, watch, if I type in, let's say, a quantity of 10, and I put this as the bathroom, I put in my size, and then I add a photo. If I'm walking around the house, and of course, this is not just tied to windows, this could be tied to anything, bathrooms, kitchens, whatever. And let's just say that I will use, I don't know, let's use this first picture. Okay, so now I added a room location, which in this case is bathroom, and that's what we consider our tag. And I'll show you how this is all set up on the back end here in a second. And then I added my photo. Now when I click done, I get all my pricing, and let's go to a document. So I go to my contract. I'm gonna click on my window contract, and when I hit next, my photos all auto-populate. You see both of them down here at the bottom. The first one was from a line item I did before this webinar, but the second one you can see here, if I click on it, it will have my tag, and I can add as many of those photos that I want to that estimate. So here, let me just show you another example so I can get multiple photos. You can see how this will work. So go here and let's just do one more photo to this one. Click on that, hit done. Done again. Okay, so now there's 2 photos on one window that was tagged to the bathroom. And now when I click on either one of those photos, you see this one says bathroom 1.1. And that means it's just on page 1 first of the bathroom windows. And this is bathroom 1.2. So it's in the bathroom tagged with the bathroom. And it's, first page or first template, second picture for that window. So now I can add comments to this. Like, I don't know, I'm just typing some gibberish here. Just, you can see what it would do at the end. My 2 line items are populated. And then this was the first one I added before I started the webinar, which I tagged as the living room. And then when I hit next, oops, I need total number of windows in the home. Okay, so this will generate my document. And notice down here, my tag where it says photos attached at the end of contract towards the bottom of the document. So my tag says living room 1.1, you know, and it has my gibberish, bathroom 1.1, bathroom 1.2. So it's using the tag to allow you to add comments in line with the contract. However, when you flip the pages, all your photos that are, you know, referenced in the comments in the body of the contract are then referenced at the end. So you see how the tag is very important, where, you know, you can tag it on the estimate, but when you get to your documents, it's putting all your photos at the end and marking them with which comments, say that 10 times fast, go with which pictures, right? Living room 1.1, you could say, hey, replace all the rotted wood and everything on window living room 1.1, and bathroom 1.1, do this, you know, and bathroom 1.2, do that. So utilizing tags is a hidden thing. It's definitely underutilized in the app, but having that all connect from the estimate side to the contract side, it just works. As the rep is measuring the windows, they add their comments, and then they can have everything just come over to the contract. So that's my 3 bullet points in estimate section. Next thing I want to talk, let me look at my next slide. Include website links as resources. So actually here, let me go back real quick, because I might have went through, that's a really big feature, and I just wanted to highlight quickly how that looks in the dashboard side. Let me go right here. Oops, not that one. Stop that one. Let's go right here. Okay, so the way that you set tags up is if I go into my price guide right here, and let's just use the windows that we were in. And remember how I changed the name of it. So mine, I think, said room location. So if I go in here and if you click on this little keyboard, these are all your additional details, and your tag is buried up in here. So your tag, you see here, says placeholder as tag. If you wanted to use the tag on your document, that's going to be it. And you can set everything that appears here. Now my browser isn't that, let me widen it a little bit. So here, you see room location. You know, remember these were the 2 fields that showed up. You can choose what type of input type it is. So you can change what values. And then here's all the picker options. You can give it a default value too if you want, make it required, etc. If you have any questions or like want to get in really detail or depth with these things, you can just reach out to our support, click that little chat button down at the bottom, and they're there during business hours East Coast time. Okay, use website links as resources. So I'm going to stay in here for a second. I'm going to show you resources. Let's see where they are right here. And when you create a resource, let me get rid of this. If I hit new, you can change the resource type to a website. Then you give it a name. You tell it which offices you want it to be included in, and you just give it the website URL that you want it to go to. So I think I already have one set up here. Like we have this one, Leap's YouTube channel. So we set this up. We have 13 demo offices that we've created. And then we just put a link to our YouTube channel, and we can access it inside the app. Now, what's cool about this is you can also utilize placeholders. So one of the examples is like we have companies who have built their own websites for presenting price. Maybe they don't want to use the proposal section of Leap, or they have some interactive thing that they want to use to present price to the homeowners, and they want to, you know, customize what that looks like. So what they have done is created a way that the reps can come to the resources section. They open up this website, but the website has placeholders in it. So you can do like percent, customer, I can't remember exactly what the placeholders are. Customer email will do. And when before the app opens up the web page, it will replace this with the value of the customer's email in the app. Now you could also put the customer's name. You could put, I believe, even like your pricing. You can put the pricing of the packages, the categories. I mean, there's so many options. Any of the placeholders used on the documents pretty much can be used in the this resources section. So what that means is now when they come to that resource by using all these placeholders in the URL, the presentation or the website is kind of customized to that specific customer. So they're using those variables, the customer's emails, the customer's name, the customer's phone number, the total price, etc., that are in those URL parameters that's injected as part of their presentation. I hope that makes sense. If you have more questions on that, definitely reach out to you and we can give you some more details on how you can use these resources. But if I switch back really quickly to my iPad. I'll just give you a quick demo of how that Leap YouTube one works. So if I go here to resources, you see just like everything else, it shows up, but then there's my Leap YouTube channel right there smack dab in the middle. And when I click on that, it opens up a window with our YouTube channel. I think our podcast is in there. I give myself a shameless plug. I'm in competition with our CEO and who has the most listens. I'm gaining ground on him, but he's beat me. So if you guys wouldn't mind listening to my podcast, that'll be awesome. So yeah, using URLs in your resources or websites in your resources can be powerful. Another idea is to put a lead capture form in this section. So your sales rep's out in the field, the neighbor or a relative of the homeowner is interested in getting a quote on something. You can make it very easy for your reps to just pull up the lead capture form in the resources section, and you can make that lead capture form tagged with hey, it's a referral, or it came from this rep, or whatever you want. And it just makes the reps life easier with capturing leads. It's all built right into their sales presentation tool. The next segue that I wanted to talk about in resources is using the aerial measurements, the PDFs that come from those in your sales presentations. So this is one that I really, it really helped me close more deals. And I sold primarily roofing, especially the last probably 2-3 years of me doing in-home sales. And we specifically used EagleView, but Leap integrates currently with 3 measurement tools: EagleView, Hover, and Scope Technologies, which is like your roof scope, gutter scope, et cetera, siding scope, I believe they have. So if I go, let's just use EagleView for an example. So I come in here, and a lot of people think of using this as just linking the measurements, right? Which it will do that. So I click on that, and it isn't fair because I already did this before I came on the webinar, but all those measurements came from that EagleView report. So when I click done, I have all of my pricing that I need, which works great, but Leap can also put that report that is generated from EagleView, Hover, or RoofScope in your resources section. So you see the first icon in this graph or chart or whatever it is the EagleView. And if I open that up, that is a PDF that was downloaded from EagleView on that customer specific house. Now I can go through this with my homeowner and explain to them in exactly how I'm coming up with the price that I'm presenting to them. So the way I was able to use this to close more deals is it just added a lot more credibility than just walking around with my measure wheel or even climbing up on the roof. This was a way I would say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, just to let you know, this is a step our company takes. Here's some pictures. We use satellite measurements. Here's some pictures of your house. We then, a computer or a third party goes through and maps all those down to specific measurements. And by that, they're able to figure out how many of each thing that you need. So that way it kind of removes the human error element out of it. And when I was laid off my price, the sticker shock, if there was one, I could blame on the EagleView or on Hover or on RoofScope. I could blame the sticker shock on that. I'm like, hey, look, we just measure your roof, and it is what it is. And I take a more consultative approach of selling the deal, and just a guy that's relaying information to them and helping them through the process, as opposed to the guy that is coming up with the price based on my measurements that I came up with, and my measurements are different than the first guy that came in, or maybe the guy that comes in after me. Customers are more willing to accept their measurements like this and accept your price thereof. So if you're not using these types of things in your presentation, you're definitely missing out, because even if you spend a couple minutes on it just to explain to the homeowner how you do it, it can definitely close you more deals. And the cost of the reports are a fraction compared to how much more revenue you would get from it. The other little thing, I won't spend too much time on it, but you can also have these show up in your documents. So if you wanted it to be as part of your contract, or you wanted it to be part of your proposal, I think I have mine turned off on proposals, but you see it there in contracts. You can tell Leap which sections of the app to show those reports, and as your reps are using them, they will just automatically show up there. Okay, so now I get my next one is going to be documents. So that perfect segue. So that is kind of an external document because it's coming out from EagleView, but you can also add an external document. A lot of people don't know about it, but there's a little plus sign in the top right corner when you're selecting your templates right before the next button. If I click that little plus sign, it will open up kind of like the Files app in the iPad. And then you can go through, this works with iCloud, So any documents you put in iCloud, it will just sync through. You can also sync, I think, like third parties, like your Dropbox and stuff like that. Let's see here. Yeah, so like if you linked like your Dropbox and all that, they should show up all on here on the left side. In this one, I have my iCloud Drive. And then you would just click into this thing. Like, I don't know if I really even have any files. Here's a fantasy football one. You see if I just click on that, and then I can click, hit next again. And there's my fantasy football. I don't know when that was from. Panthers and Broncos, however long ago that was. But yeah, so like an Xactimate or any other document, somebody emails you to you, whatever. A lot of people don't know that you can bring in external documents and have those go in line with the rest of, the Leap generated documents. Auto-populate values from each package to a template. So this is another feature that I think is underutilized, low-hanging fruit, high reward item. Here I have all of my brochures. So I have like Berkshire shingles. I set up a package for true definition duration shingles, supreme shingles, 1000, 2000, 3000 series. Now, every time I flip through these, like let's say that this is my best, my better, and my good options. And you see the prices changing, 18,844, 18,954, and 27,397. Maybe I want all of those to come over on a proposal template, those exact values, whatever the rep, whether it's what the rep selected, or I want my good, better, best options to all auto-populate to a document without me having to recreate anything or redo any math. All the data is just there. Well, you can do that now with Leap. So if you see here, my Berkshire, good, better, best, kinda. If I go to my, I think I put it under contracts. I'm going to clear all these. And right here, package demo. I now just set up a real basic template before I started this webinar. And you can see I have the names of each item, Berkshire, True Definition, Supreme, and the prices come over, 27, 18.9, and 18.8. Now, if I go back and change something, so let's go here. And let's say that I change this to 35 square, hit done. Now my prices are 21, 21.7, 31.9. So we go back to my contracts. See they all up 31.9, 21.7, 21.5. And the way that this is done is little placeholders. Now, some of this stuff might look like hieroglyphics if you're not a Leap user or been in the contract thing, but I promise you it's not that bad once you get into it. So just to show you how that is set up. And of course, like anything, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to our support team and we can help you out with this. So all that template that I just showed you has in it is a placeholder where you say percent package that tells it you're accessing a value from the package, and then a dot, and then your category, which I have my category tagged as R, and then the index of the package, and then whatever value you want. So again, this might seem like hieroglyphics. I don't spend all the webinar on training you how to do placeholders, but it is possible. A lot of people don't know that you can do package placeholders, and you can access more values than just the good, better, best packages. You can have it come over with whatever package the rep had selected. You could have that information, the name of the selected package, the price of the selected package come over. Let's see, pull values from your CRM to your documents. Now this one I don't have an exact demo for to show you like it working because I don't have one of these CRMs, but I just want to show you with Salesforce, it will work. And if you use Lead Perfection, it will work. And also Improve It 360, it will work. So what that means is, let's say that I want every contract that my sales reps generate out in the field, I want it to have a customer number that appears at the top. And that customer number goes with the value from inside of the CRM. So that value is generated inside of the CRM when the appointment is created, and then anything that is created for that appointment will have that number attached to it. So if you're using Salesforce, when you set up your Salesforce settings, so hold on, where is that? CRM, Salesforce. Oh, no, that's not what I want. I want app settings, appointments. And let's say you change this to oops, let's change this to this one. Right, here you go. So if you're not that familiar with this, don't worry about it. It's beyond the scope of this webinar. You can have our support team help you with this. The idea of this is just to tell you that it is possible. You can set up your Salesforce when you're querying the data out of Salesforce. You can map fields. So down here is the table where you're mapping fields, and you can give it the name. So let's say it's the name of the appointment that is coming over. Or actually we'll do a customer number. let's say you have a field called customer number __ C. And if you use Salesforce, this would probably look familiar. And you tell it that it is a text field that's coming over from there. And you want to map it to a placeholder in Leap, and you just give it a placeholder. So I say % customer number %, right? Now, if I save that, whatever field comes over from customer number will be available on your document with this placeholder. So if I, for instance, go back to my documents that I was working on, and let's say that I add a new field, I could then say here, customer number, and paste that in. And I can put that anywhere in my document. And now, every document that's generated, this value would be replaced with whatever value came from that CRM. I know there's placeholders for, I know there's one for Lead Perfection. I believe there's one for Job Nimbus. If this is something you're interested in, want more information, reach out to our support team and we'll get you all the information on how to hook that up. Okay, I got two more things that I wanted to go over. Accessing customer documents from the completed uploads. So let me switch my screen again. So this is one, oops, where's that? Right here. So this one, every time I send a document from Leap, your reps might want to come back, right? Might want to come back and see that document. Maybe it's the results, maybe it's the contract that was sent. Maybe that you're trying to like troubleshoot something, the customer didn't receive it or whatever, and your reps just want access to their documents. Well, hidden inside of the settings section of the main menu, if I click on that settings section, there is pending uploads and there's completed uploads. If I go into completed uploads, this will go in and fetch, I believe it's in order by date, all of the customers' estimates that have a document attached to it. If you see the numbers on the right-hand side is how many documents are attached to each customer. And if you have the correct permissions, you can also view it from all of your sales reps. And I believe if you swipe down, you can also search by name. So if I go here, I'm just going to go to self. I'll go to one that has, say, 3 documents in it. When I click that, you can see I have my contract, my results, and my measurement report. I can click into contract. This will download the contract, show it to the rep. And if I need to get this out for whatever reason, I can click the little share button in the top right corner, and then you can airdrop it. You can send it all the different things that a iPad or iPhone can send it to. So accessing all of your documents from this section, you can also do, again, results will be accessible there. Any measurement ports like the Eagle View and Hover can also be accessible from there. Any documents that are uploaded and sent back through the hooks that our thing uses can be accessed from the completed uploads. Anything that has not made it out of the iPad will be accessible in the pending uploads. Pending uploads means it is either not connected to the internet or there's some type of error that it's trying to resolve. And you can also access them here. You would just tap on, I don't have any completed uploads in here. And you can also retry sending it. But yes, accessing your documents from completed uploads is a hidden feature that a lot of people don't know exists. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is changing your discounts per sales rep. This is another one that I think is underutilized. Okay, back to the dashboard. And I want to go to my users. So I go to account users. And when you fetch users, let's just go here. I'll mess up mine. Come on, my internet's acting up. There it goes. So if you look, where's that? Additional estimate amount. So if you look at this field, you can change this number. So let's say that I make it 0.10, 0.1. There you go. And then I could save that, right? And whatever number you type here, whether it is 500, 1,000, a percentage, whatever number you want to use it as, whatever number you type in here, inside of your formulas, so let's go to price guide and price formulas, that value is accessible. So let's say I'm going to add a new one just for to make it simple. So we'll just name this one test formula. This value here, UA, whatever number you typed in there for each user is going to be accessible using this UA. So let's say I wanted to take the book price and allow the reps in this test formula to subtract 10%. So you could say book minus, and then to subtract 10%, you would do the book again. And let's say his thing was times 0.10. times, and then the UA, user amount. So B would be replaced with book price. Let's say it's $10,000. So it'd be $10,000 minus 10,000 times, and then 0.1, which would be 1,000. So that would make that rep's test formula evaluate to 9,000. It would be 10,000 minus the result of that is 1,000. But let's say another rep is allowed to discount 0.15, 15. You put a 0.15 in his. Well, then this would evaluate to 1,500, and then that rep's test formula number would then come out to be, quick math, $8,500. Right, so that's really, a lot of people don't know this UA, which stands for user amount. You can change per user and then use it in your formulas to either mark up or down the prices based on that sales rep. So the way that we utilize this when I did in-home sales was, we had this guy, Matt, if you're listening, you know who you are. He would close 80% of the leads that he ran in a one-call close. He was a monster closer, but he sold everything at or below minimum. We kind of tricked him. It was all a head game. He would sell it. He would get down to minimum, and then he was just so passionate. He knew he couldn't drop a dollar below it. But sometimes he was off on his measurements. So when he was off on his measurements and he sold it at minimum, he didn't get paid on the deal. So we made his minimum, 5% higher than what everybody else's was, and kind of tricked him into selling the deal for more than what he normally would have sold the deal if he had the same discounting abilities as every other sales rep. Other companies, you can use this for commissions. There's also ways you can utilize these in commissions, or some reps get paid a higher commission or a lower commission than others, etc. Just like anything, a lot of this stuff, if you have questions on, I think we might have time for Q&A. Definitely you can ask them. I'll try and answer them to them quick. Anything you want to go in detailed with, reach out to our support team. And we do have a whole division here at Leap, we call professional services, that can help you if you just don't have the time to set this up, or the know-how, or really even care to learn how to set all this up. We have staff that can really set all this up for you for a fee. It's very reasonable, and when you come out the end of it, it's it's definitely worth what it costs. So with that, I think that is all of mine. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Kelly, if you're still in here.
I am. Thanks, Steve. Let me go ahead and share my screen back. Okay, so thanks for all that, Steve. That was really a lot of great information, lots of great, kind of behind the scenes insights into some things that folks might not be using already, or just spark some new ideas of things that you could be doing within the Leap app to really help streamline and grow things. So we do have some time for some Q&A, so go ahead and drop your questions into that. I just really quickly, before we get to that, and we do have the AirPods winner to announce as well, I did want to just let everyone on the call know, if you're not already using Leap and you're interested in learning a little bit more, we do have a promotion going for the rest of the year. Let me go ahead and launch this poll really quickly. Where if you're interested and want to have a conversation with Leap, we'll thank you for your time, and we'll send you lunch on us. So it's a gift card, either DoorDash, Uber Eats, something along those lines. But I think it's a pretty cool offer. Helps to get us to understand your business a little bit better, see if there's an opportunity to help with that. And if for nothing else, I think it's really good for kind of a self-audit of your business, if you will. So it gives you the ability to speak about your business and kind of talk through maybe where some inefficiencies are, what you're really good at. And it's just kind of helpful to talk through with somebody who has these conversations on a daily basis with other contractors. Can really share some valuable information that you may not already know. It might not have anything to do with Leap, but just having those conversations and interacting can be really beneficial to your business. So I highly encourage that as well. So I'll go ahead and close out of that. Thanks everyone for your responses there. All right, and Steve, how are you at your drum roll? Giving a little drum roll for our winners here.
Oh, fingers on my desk.
Well, with that, let me just pull up our attendees on here. So our winner for the AirPods today is going to be Ryan Spar. Congratulations, Ryan. I'll send you an email afterwards and just confirm your mailing address, and we'll get those shipped out to you. So Congrats on that. Hopefully
Sweet.
you can use those. I know I love them.
Regift them if not.
Yeah, there you go. Makes a perfect regift for sure. So we do definitely have some questions rolling in there. So let me go ahead and open that window up. Our first question, Steve, is coming in from Lois. So on the photos tagging on the contract, do you add the icon to the bottom of the contract? I think that's in regards to like the sketchpad section where you were pulling in the photos.
Add the icon to the bottom of the contract. I don't understand the question actually.
Okay. Lois, maybe if you could clarify.
I can either clarify or I can reach out to her directly and clarify.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can.
I can
get in touch with Steve.
I'll try to answer your question by explaining exactly like what tags are. Tags, you don't have to do anything to add them. They will come. They're out of the box on every single line item that you add to your price guide. You can customize what they say because out of the box, you're just going to say tag. So like mine, I renamed to room location. And on the additional details where I click that little keyboard when I'm editing my price guide, there is an option to add more additional details. One of the cells that you can add is a photo selector. So all you have to do is add the photo selector, and then that will kind of join the two. You don't have to do anything after that. Just add a photo selector to your measure sheet item. And then as far as getting it to carry over all the way to the contract, you just have to have that measure sheet item linked somewhere in the contract. And I won't go any more in depth than that. If you want, we can reach out to you directly or just message in our chat, and our support team can definitely walk you through that entire thing. Just say you want to get, the photos linked with the tags and have that populate to your contract, and they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Perfect. Hope that answers your question, Lois. Yeah, we can connect afterwards on that too, as Steve mentioned. So thanks for sending that in. Next question is from Tanya. When you're adding files, can you add them from a desktop as well?
You would just have to email the file or airdrop. I don't know if it's a Mac, you could airdrop the file to the iPad, but the file has to somehow make it to the iPad. Now you can also do that by like a Google Drive. Like you can link the iPad to the Google Drive and then link the desktop to the Google Drive, and so you basically are just syncing them through the cloud. So yes, you can do it that way. So you can either email it, save it to the iPad. Somehow you have to get that file to the iPad. As long as you get it to the iPad, then you can add it to your contracts.
Perfect. Thank you, Tanya. Good question. All right, and then a question coming in from Ricky. Is there an update on when the job progress integration will be live?
That's funny. We were just working on it yesterday. I would say the beginning of next year. Definitely Q1.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have some announcements coming out when that is complete as well. So thank you, Ricky.
Yeah, the program, I will say, the programming is 80% done. Like, matter of fact, I was literally just messing with this yesterday. The appointments and all that stuff come into the app. Documents can be uploaded. We're finalizing resulting the appointment. So once that gets done, it'll go through our testing and QA phase. I imagine that will start the end of this year, first week of next year, and then however long it takes from the QA process to get into production. So definitely Q1.
Cool. Perfect. Okay. Next question coming in from Sean. Is there a limit to how many sketches or photos that you can have in a contract or estimate?
There's no limit. The document will generate with as many as you want. However, there is a 100 megabyte file size limit on uploading any document. So if you get over 100 megabytes, it's not going to make its way to our servers. And you should be conscious if you're emailing files to customers. Email clients can restrict files as low as 16 megabytes. So if you're adding too many files and you're trying to email the file directly, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to have to send it as a link, which we also have capability of doing. So general rule of thumb is always send your emails as links, which there's a setting in your contract sending settings, and keep your files below 100 megabytes, which is, I've seen contracts go out with 50 to 100 pictures in them, and they're below the limit. So the short answer, I think, would be yes, or no, there is no limit.
Awesome. All right, that looks like the last question that we had coming in. If anyone thinks of any questions or anything after we close out of the webinar today, you can feel free to email marketing@leap2digital.com. That goes directly to me, or reach out to your account manager or into that chat on the Leap website to get in touch with our support team, who can certainly answer any additional questions from here. So with that, I think that's all we have for today. So we'll give you back a couple minutes of your day. Thanks, Steve, for your time and being on with us.
Yep, thank you.
And awesome. And thanks everyone for your time and joining us today. As you close out of the webinar today, you'll see a short survey pop up. So we'd love to get your feedback on today's presentation. And if you have any ideas or things that you'd like to hear about for future webinars, we're all ears. We'd love to keep providing content that is of interest to you. So feel free to drop in any suggestions you have in there. And happy holidays, everyone. Hope you enjoy the season and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.